Since first appearing on TV in the 1990s, Norah O'Donnell has built a distinguished career, covering everything from Congress and foreign policy to presidential elections. O'Donnell's rise has been impressive, but her personal transformation has been just as compelling. Norah O'Donnell's childhood was somewhat rootless. Her father was a doctor in the U.S. Army, which meant the family moved around a lot while she was growing up. Describing herself as an Army brat, she told Irish America that she lived all over the world as a child. She also revealed that her younger brother was born in Germany and her younger sister was born in Seoul, South Korea. Years later, O'Donnell visited her former home on a Seoul military base for CBS This Morning and said it was a great place to grow up. In fact, the future journalist has come to credit her unique childhood for placing her on the path to her eventual career. She told Parade, "I wouldn't have become a journalist had I not grown up in a military family. Growing up in the military taught me a lot about flexibility and adaptability and being exposed to the world." While she and her family lived in Seoul, 10-year-old Norah gained her first on-camera experience when she was hired by the Korean Educational Development Institute to become part of a very special project. She explained in a 2018 interview with Parade, they needed people to make those tapes and appear on kind of an English teaching television program, so I got a job doing that. The future journalist was asked to recite an array of English words and phrases to help teach Korean viewers to become fluent in English. Despite her youth, O'Donnell proved to be a natural in front of a TV camera and even got paid for her efforts. And even at age 10, she tried to model her style after the best.
Even as a young girl, I think I was imitating Barbara Walters. I wanted to be like Barbara Walters because she was the most powerful woman I saw on television.
O'Donnell's family ultimately returned to America, where she attended Georgetown University for college. She recalled in her 2018 interview with Parade, "I interned my senior year of college at ABC News when it was This Week with David Brinkley. After graduating with a BA in philosophy in 1995, her ABC News internship helped her to land a job as a reporter for Roll Call, an influential newspaper covering Capitol Hill. During her tenure with Roll Call, O'Donnell went all over the U.S. to report on House and Senate elections and also covered impeachment proceedings against President Bill Clinton. That job paved the way for her eventual career, shifting from print to broadcast journalism. And in an interview with Glamour, she revealed the key lesson she'd taken away from that entry-level position. O'Donnell told the outlet, "I have always said yes to opportunities and experiences, be willing to do almost anything. The chance to get your foot in the door is incredibly important." The experience that O'Donnell gained at Roll Call proved to be crucial to the next step in her career when she was hired by veteran journalist Tim Russert as a correspondent at NBC News. O'Donnell was 25 at the time, and as she told Parade, Russert wasn't just her boss, but a friend and mentor. She said to the outlet, "He was always such a strong supporter. The first thing he would always say to me, other than good morning, he would say, 'What do you know?' That sticks with me to this day. My job every morning is to say what I know that's different than what's already been reported." O'Donnell went on to spend more than a decade with NBC News. During that time, she served as congressional correspondent before eventually landing the coveted role of White House correspondent. She also reported on the war in Afghanistan and covered breaking news stories for NBC and its cable news outlet, MSNBC, including the September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001.
I was at the Pentagon that day and covering it from Washington.
Attending Georgetown not only set O'Donnell on her career trajectory as a journalist, it was also where she met Jeff Tracy, her future husband. In an interview with their Alma Mater, she recalled how she and Tracy met while waiting in line at the cafeteria during their first week of school. For Tracy, it was love at first sight. He admitted that was it right away. It took her a little bit longer to come around. They got engaged in 1999 and tied the knot in 2001 at a chapel on Georgetown's campus. The couple eventually became the parents of 3 children, twins Henry and Grace, followed by a second daughter, Riley. While O'Donnell forged her path in journalism, Tracy went a completely different route by becoming a chef after studying at the Culinary Institute of America. He went on to launch his own Washington, D.C. restaurant, Chef Jeff's, which spawned a second location, and eventually several restaurants under the umbrella of Chef Jeff's Deluxe Hospitality Restaurant Group. O'Donnell and her husband combined forces to collaborate on their 2010 cookbook, Baby Love, in which they share recipes for easy-to-make and highly nutritious baby food.
We decided to write a book because I found out how easy it was to make homemade purees, and I said, we've got to share this information.
After more than a decade with NBC News, O'Donnell said farewell to her longtime home in 2011 in order to embrace a new opportunity with rival CBS News. Her initial duties with CBS News included subbing in as anchor on occasion for Face the Nation. In addition to serving as chief White House correspondent, O'Donnell said in a statement, "This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm thrilled to cover the White House for CBS News. It is an honor and a privilege to join the great journalists at this legendary network." The following year, O'Donnell embarked on a new challenge when she was appointed co-anchor on the network's morning show, CBS This Morning. Replacing her predecessor, Erica Hill, O'Donnell joined Charlie Rose and Gayle King for the creation of a brand new morning show team. Tasked with revitalizing the show, O'Donnell's high-profile new role meant that she had to commute from her home in Washington, D.C. to Manhattan each week until her family eventually moved to the Big Apple to accommodate her new gig. By 2017, the CBS This Morning team had become a well-oiled machine.
There's never a typical day.
However, that three-way partnership was not destined to last. That November, the Washington Post unveiled a scathing exposé in which multiple women accused Charlie Rose of sexual harassment. After CBS suspended Rose, King and O'Donnell spoke out about the allegations, and both were shocked by what Rose's accusers were alleging. King told the audience, "I really am still reeling." For her part, O'Donnell took an unequivocal stance that implied Rose would never again be seen sitting in that studio. She said on the show, "Let me be very clear. There is no excuse for this alleged behavior. This has to end. This behavior is wrong, period." In a 2018 interview with the Palm Beach Post, O'Donnell opened up about how difficult that situation had been for her. She told the outlet, "The whole Charlie thing was incredibly painful to learn that about a colleague and to hear the women who believe they were abused by him. But I thought, this is wrong, simple as that, and it has to end." Health and fitness have been a lifelong passion for O'Donnell, and she's been a devoted runner since she was a teenager. She revealed in an interview with Runner's World, "I started running track when I was 13 years old, as a freshman in high school." She has continued to run, although her hectic schedule doesn't make it easy. She admitted, "As a working mom, I struggle to find time to work out and go for runs. I usually run 2 to 3 times a week and work out with a trainer once a week." Not only does running help her keep in shape and clear her head, it also prepares her for the grueling nature of her job as a journalist. She observed, "Running certainly gives you endurance, and there can be some really long days in journalism." She also revealed the playlist of music that inspires her on her runs, sharing it in another interview with Runner's World. O'Donnell told the outlet, "When I go for a run, I'm interested in hanging out and listening to Maroon 5 or Carly Rae Jepsen, or whatever silly fun music helps me forget about everything." After Charlie Rose was exiled by CBS, O'Donnell and co-anchor Gayle King continued on at CBS This Morning. Media reports soon emerged alleging that there was friction between the two. Those rumors were crystallized in 2019 when Page Six reported that a key factor in King's contract negotiation was that O'Donnell be dumped from the morning show. However, another source insisted that the report was bogus and that the two were good friends. King and O'Donnell confronted the rumors on the air, not only insisting there was no truth to them, but also pointing out the sexist nature of such reports. O'Donnell later spoke with Extra, explaining why it was a no-brainer for them to shoot down the gossip on their show. She said,
Gayle and I talked immediately when that silly report came out, and we said, let's wait till Monday, and we will have the last word.
Those reports claiming that King was pushing O'Donnell out of CBS This Morning did contain one grain of truth. O'Donnell did in fact exit the show. However, it wasn't because she was ousted, but because she was offered the position as anchor of CBS Evening News. When O'Donnell made her first appearance behind the desk at CBS Evening News in 2019, she brought not just her skills and experience as a journalist, but also her considerable reputation. She said during an interview with CBS News Sacramento,
Our mission is to tell news with a trusted voice.
O'Donnell remained anchor of CBS Evening News for more than 5 years until announcing that she'd be stepping away from the position after the 2024 presidential election. She wouldn't be leaving the network, however, but would remain as a special correspondent, conducting high-profile interviews with newsmakers for CBS specials. In addition, O'Donnell would continue to file special reports for CBS Evening News and 60 Minutes. O'Donnell told The Hollywood Reporter, "There's so much work to be proud of, but I've spent 12 years in the anchor chair here at CBS News, connected to a daily broadcast and the rigors of a relentless news cycle. It's time to do something different." CBS subsequently announced that O'Donnell would be replaced by a 2-person anchor team consisting of Maurice Dubois and John Dickerson, a move that raised the ire of one of O'Donnell's CBS Evening News predecessors, Katie Couric. In an op-ed for the New York Times, Couric wrote, "It was a little disappointing to read that Ms. O'Donnell would be replaced by 2 men. It's odd and more than a little out of touch." Before ending her run at CBS Evening News, O'Donnell offered viewers a sneak peek at the kind of newsmaking interviews she'd be doing as a CBS News special correspondent when she sat down with Pope Francis in May 2024. Speaking about the interview during an appearance on CBS Mornings, O'Donnell revealed that the network had been chasing an interview with the pontiff for a decade. She admitted, "As a journalist, this is the biggest interview I think I could get." During the wide-ranging, hour-long discussion, the Pope discussed topics ranging from war to climate change to his stance on same-sex couples. After it was over, O'Donnell shared her impression of Pope Francis, saying, "This is a different kind of Pope. He's the first from the Americas, the first from the Southern Hemisphere, the first Jesuit, and he has been much more progressive and inclusive." Sadly, Pope Francis died on April 21st, 2025. He was 88.